Alright lads, so today we get to finally finishing up showcasing the brand new characters that released in Brave Souls. In this case, if you haven't already seen it, we did showcase Nemu, Nanao, both great characters. More so impressed with Nanao, but today we're here to have a look at the new Yachiru. So this is a character remake that I'm pretty excited about, more so because of the history this character has had. For those that want to wear, when 1000 Year Blood War first got added to the game, there was only ever confirmed 14 characters, and she was part of the 14. In round 2, released alongside Yachiru and also Kenpachi. It made sense, truth be told, why they did include her, especially because she needed to be in Kenpachi's soul bomb. But this character caused a lot of controversy due to the fact that she was, one, a character no one expected. She technically took away from another character spot, at least at the time, and she was oh so terrible, one of the worst characters released. Especially after the backlash of Byakuya, who people were very disappointed that he wasn't good enough, and then Yachiru came out 3 months later and was significantly worse. So in a way, this new version of Yachiru is a way to make things right by making her actually a useful character. And personally, I feel like this version of the character does do the character a lot more justice, especially from the visual standpoints. I will say though, it's never not going to be weird seeing Yachiru, even though, you know, Brave Souls is a chibi-fied game. But of course, because of the way Brave Souls does work, they need to like scale her up a tad bit, so she just looks very weird being like the same height, but a smaller frame compared to the other characters in Brave Souls. Either way though, quickly going over the character, Yachiru is more so a Guild Quest unit. Can of course be used outside of Guild Quest, more so today's showcase will be focused in that game modes. But she's definitely going to excel more in Guild Quest with the way she was designed. So for starters, in terms of damage output, she does have Flurry +2 everywhere, which again is great. Ultimately, the biggest problem that we had been seeing with normal attack damage characters over the last year until post-anniversary was that the damage output was just significantly lacking outside of Guild Quest. So now she does have Flurry +2 everywhere, which again is good enough, but inside Guild Quest, she does get Flurry +3. With that, she also does get more range damage, more killer effect as you would expect from a Guild Quest unit, and she also does have a pretty high normal attack damage right now at 99%. That paired with long reach and the fact that she does have 2 team boost effects. So her SA2 is a team boost and also heal, and then her SA3 is an enhanced team boost, giving your entire team like a 50% attack and focus and defense increase. Really good strong attacks, especially for a normal attack damage character. In terms of her kit too, she also did bring back slow. It's a very, very rare status augment. The last time we did see this return was with Esno, who released at the end of 2022. And there's pretty much only like 10 characters in the game that do have this status augment. It had a brief comeback when used in Arena, and ever since, slow as a status augment has always ever been a Arena status augment. Because in Arena, slowing down the opponents can actually be a big deal. In PvE content though, doesn't really do anything. Sure, it does slow down the enemies and that might let you dodge an attack, but more likely than not, you're just going to stand far away and just deal your normal attack damage and kill them before you even notice the effects of slow. I think in some situations it can be useful, but that situation is very, very rare. But one thing I will admit is I do like that Yachiru does have follow-up. What this does mean is that when the enemy gets knocked onto the floor, the only way to hit them while they're on the floor until they get back up is by using strong attacks. For normal attack damage characters, they need the skill follow-up so they can hit enemies on the floor, and that's a really good quality of life skill to have. So she's a fairly simple normal attack damage character, one that excels more so in Guild Quest, but of course with the skill that she does have, she's going to have no problem outside of Guild Quest content. So for example, if we quickly take her into the Mayuri epic raids, where keep in mind she is a 3 times damage dealing unit, we are using this particular build. She shouldn't have much of an issue when it comes to clearing this quest, but in terms of visuals, right, I do like what they have done here. So what we are seeing is that I keep forgetting, do they even have names? The spirits that appear behind her when she uses her Shikai, right? They actually do appear in gameplay, which is pretty cool. It's something that you didn't see all too much on the original Yachiru character, right? Now, that's pretty much for every part of the kit. The SA1, they appear. The Strong Attack 2, they appear. And they also do their little dance, which is kind of cute. And I think it's the perfect way to represent a boost effect on a character like Yachiru. And again, the SA3 also does appear too. So it's actually really cool that they appear throughout the character's entire gameplay. Would have loved, the only way this could have been better, and by the way, the damage now has been significantly increased after we used that SA3. The only way it could have been better is if we saw them in the gameplay at all times. Like, they're always there, and they're part of every single attack. Because right now, they only appear on the final normal attack damage here. It's better than them not being there, but it would have been cooler if they were there present at all times. So you can see that in a solo Mayuri epic raid run, without even using our boost effect straight away, we did clear in 49 seconds. See, I think from a visual standpoint, they did a pretty good job, adapting Yachiru into this game with just the new 1000-year Blood Bowl design, but also just making her feel cool and also fun at the same time, especially with that Team Boost SA2. The only nitpick I would have with this character's visuals is most of the slashes. I know the spirits are with you Kenpachi, right? His design actually took inspiration from Sanpu Kenju, which I think was really cool. And he has some really cool visuals in terms of when he does slash. Like there's blue, there's yellow, there's pink. Would have loved to have seen that with this particular character. So one thing we can do is that when the boost does, leave after around 30 seconds, we can instantly use our SA2 and just have like pretty much a boost effect for like 50 plus seconds to a minute, which is actually really good. Unfortunately, we've lost some full stamina, so this run is going to be significantly slower. So let's restart once more just to get a better run, this time taking no damage and also using our SA3 team boost right from the get-go. So damage output-wise, we're doing like 390k per hit, and that's with Flurry plus 2. We actually did take a hit there, but I forgot we actually have an SA2 effect that can boost and again also heal us. Do have some nice survivability on this unit, and I think that's going to be useful for content like, for example, Path to Unity, Senkimon, and right now even in epic raids. I do like having multiple effects on a strong attack. Instead of having a simple team boost SA2, you have that while also having the heal effect, which never can be a problem, right? Right, let's make sure we stand far away. Now the boost effect is wore off, so we are going to be a bit slow in terms of damage, but I think we're going to get like consistent, like 50-second clear time here. Did have to use the SA2 team boost a bit early, and again, I also got hit once more. But once more, we can use our team boost SA2 and get back up to full stamina. The SA3 does take a while to come back though, so you have to be careful when using that. But overall, damage output, like we are seeing with most Guild Quest normal attack damage characters, is not really an issue now outside of Guild Quest. We are still seeing, with Nanao, for example, normal attack damage characters that are more so designed to be played with and excel more outside of Guild Quest. So she's not nearly as good as Nanao or as impressive as Nanao, but compared to what we were getting before 10th anniversary, I feel like I am liking the normal attack damage characters a lot better, even ones designed strictly for Guild Quest. So with that said, now let's actually try out Yachiru in Guild Quest. Now this Guild Quest does have significantly more HP compared to Phase 1, which again I'm not a massive fan of, but it does show the strengths of Yachiru. I have seen 1 out of 5 Okura teams beat it without Yachiru, but of course with that it's going to be a significantly bigger struggle and take more time than what you might see now using a 1 out of 5 Yachiru. Now fortunately for us too, she does actually buff Okura, so there is good synergy between both characters. So when Yachiru does use that SA3, Okura is getting more stats. Specifically the SA3 because both Okura and also Yachiru have a team boost SA2. But then Yachiru also does give 30% more damage to any heart character. And that of course includes Okura, fortunately, despite them being different affiliations. So Okura right now is going to be our main lead. This is strictly a 1 out of 5 team. We are going with the focus strategy, so we are going with this particular build. We're using these 3 soul traits. Yachiru is using these 3 accessories and these 3 soul traits. Keep in mind, because we do have Ganju's EX skill, we are getting 12% more normal attack damage through the EX skill on top of the 40% normal attack damage soul trait, which is very powerful for a character like Yachiru. Now with that, just to make Yachiru do more damage essentially, we are bringing Nanao. So Nanao's aura skill is going to give Okura 30% more damage. So Nanao's aura skill is going to give Okura 30% more spiritual pressure. That's going to help us out. And then she's also going to give a 30% damage boost, I believe, to Yachiru. Hopefully they do stack. But with that, because we do have the Mugetsu soul trait, we're getting 20% more strong attack damage and also 20% more damage on our soul bomb. So again, even when we aren't using a Soripa, Nanao's a pretty good team booster. Or just boost character to have in your team when you have no one else to put in. Of course, you can use Momo. Momo will also definitely work. You have access to 2 good normal attack damage characters right now. Yachiru being the better of the 2. And truth be told, maybe you can make a team using 3 normal attack damage characters. Yachiru, Momo, and then just throw in Nanao for the team support. That might, unironically, might work. But with that said, let's see how this team does go. I've yet to attempt it, so we are pretty much going in blind. But Okura is going to carry us for the first 5 waves. If we need any leftover damage, Yachiru's going to come through. And then the extra waves, our main goal with Okura is pretty much just to inflict weakening. And then let Yachiru do all the damage. So here we go. Low lag strike at the start. We're going to use our SA1 and then 2. I don't believe I actually inflicted a weakening on that enemy. So this is actually pretty good that Yachiru does exist, because Oku is a really good character, and I did like him when he first released, but one thing we found out, you know, not even found out, but the character itself doesn't have Poise Break. So it's a bit awkward against some of these enemies, and that's more of an issue now due to the fact that the enemies have significantly more HP. When he first came out, it was fine. We were able to get 50 seconds relatively easy, but it does now become an issue. So having good no-attack damage characters like Yachiru make a big difference. So in that case, we cleared pretty slow, to be fair, 30 seconds remaining. We can definitely get faster than that. Unfortunately, in this case, Yachiru just used that SA2 team boost. We didn't even use our Soul Bomb, but this is where Yachiru starts to come through, right? So she's going to be dealing millions of damage. Is that 6 million per hit? Maybe 60? Surely not. It might be 60, unironically. That's extra wave 4. We might as well use our Soul Bomb. And look at the damage Yachiru's doing. That's about a team boost. Now we have a team boost active. Should have maybe used mine a bit earlier, but Yachiru can pretty much solo the extra waves, which is actually pretty cool. So right now with this particular team, we don't really have to worry about the extra waves. What we should more so be focusing on is improving the first 5 waves, this time using Okura, right? So let's see how this does go. Like I said, Okura right now is a bit awkward to use, more so just due to the fact that we don't have Poise Break, which is only really an issue later on in the extra waves. Because we can't really group them together. I mean, we can group the small enemies together. That was actually pretty good. Let's Soul Bomb now. Not too bad. Let's SA3. Probably didn't need to do that then. We're going to try and grab everyone together. Use our SA1 upwards. Yachiru's doing pretty good. Is that the final boss? Or is that wave 4? Because that could have been like 45. Okay, now we have one more wave. Hold on. So a bit better than last time, but not ideal because there's just leftover enemies. But we might as well just continue through the X-rays. We did, I believe, get a higher score there. My goal right now with 1 out of 5 is at least to get 40 seconds remaining. So once you get that weakening proc, man, Yachiru does crazy damage. I think that's almost a million. 10 mil per hit, maybe, when the weakening is affected. Let's use our 2. So without Yachiru, it is going to be a bit of an issue with Okura, because again, he doesn't have the Poise Break. Not really much of an issue, to be fair. It would be if he didn't have the barriers. The barriers do keep him protected. But it's not as smooth as it would have been had he been given Poise Break, you know? So let's try that once more, this time with a better attack pattern. So SA1, then 2. Decent there. SA1, then 3. Okay, we go. Let's SA1 and Soul Bomb. Some leftover enemies, unfortunately, but we'll kind of group them together like that. Does SA3 kill? Not entirely. We're doing decent here, though. So it's SA2. Ooh, again, leftover enemies right now. My Oka was too far, that would have been better. But that was actually a much better run. Again, the main goal is to get 40 seconds remaining. But I think right now with that strategy, we can go around 45 seconds remaining. I just need to make sure that I clean up the leftover mobs. Because right now, they're the ones that are kind of being an issue. Alright, so now again, right now, being a really good support. Glad that we get to use her pretty much in almost every guild quest phase, even when you aren't using Soripers. As long as you have a Soriper in your team, they're getting benefited by it. And right now, Yachiru, I believe, is getting the bus from it. But I mean, I guess we'll take that 30 SP too, you know? So there we go, 41 seconds. A lot better, but I think we can get a tiny bit higher. Alright, see how this one goes. SA2. That's good. SA1, then 3. Probably didn't even need to use the 3 there, truth be told. Okay, so again, some leftover enemies, unfortunately. My Soul Bomb doesn't seem to hit hard enough, but we kind of recovered there. SA1 and 3. Yachiru come through, there we go. Looking a bit better now. And then SA2. I kind of cancelled the strong attack 2 there. It's 1 second faster, we'll take that. We'll let that be the final run. But it doesn't seem like Okura is able to, or too affected by the HP buffs at the very least. Seems like we're able to still get a good score in the first 5 waves. It's going to be the extra waves that are much of an issue, I think, for most people. But to be fair, even if you don't have Okura, if you do have Yachiru, she does pretty much allow you to use any character as a lead, for the most part. I mean, I know people are using Misaki, for example, and they're clearing just fine, just because of, again, what's the name, Yachiru in the extra waves. This is actually much slower, because I think we took some damage, and we've yet to get back up to full stamina, despite us having 2 healers. It's fine, though. I know people are clearing with Misaki pretty easy. which is nice to see. Again, she's going to be a character that is slower on the first 5 waves, but still pretty good for inflicting paralysis, which will then let Yachiru deal 30% more damage and just hit the enemies with ease. So there we go, a bit faster. I'm going to definitely reset my own time. Going to try and at least go for 45 seconds. So yeah, overall, it shouldn't come as a surprise that Yachiru is a really strong character for Guild Quest, specifically the extra waves. If you have her, this Guild Quest is going to be a significant breeze. Outside of Guild Quest, you can definitely use her. Like we mentioned, Flurry plus 2 outside of Guild Quest is good. There's eventually going to be a gap in terms of normal attack damage characters like Nanao that are designed to be used everywhere versus normal attack damage characters that are designed to strictly be used in Guild Quest. The first thing that we are seeing is the damage. Again, Nanao can get upwards to Flurry plus 3, 200% bruiser. You know, Yachiru is not nearly as good as that, but she still has some good things about her. Again, the double team boost effect. The slow might be useful in content like Path to Unity. That's where the SA2 and 3 and heal effects are also going to be really good. But it's nice in a way that, you know, Yachiru right now is pretty much the bare minimum for a normal attack damage character once designed for Guild Quest. And even then, she's still a solid character. She has follow-up, she has long reach, she has good damage, she has good utility effects. Long reach and also dodge ranker damage. That might be useful in the future. I mean, we saw Dodge have a brief comeback. Technically, you could use that against, what's her name? Mila Rose, but I don't think Mila Rose needs dodging against. But maybe in the future, we get like a really good Brave Battle character that's a ranker again. We can bring back the dodge meta, and Yachiru might be one of the leading characters for that. We didn't speak about it much, by the way, but she is also a pretty good EX skill. And that's noteworthy because she is a heart character, so characters like Oryu is a heart character, the best Brave Battle character in the game right now. She does offer 35% normal attack damage and 16 DR at 1 out of 5, base Transcendence. But if you do get duplicates of the character, she becomes a significantly better soul trait. So yeah, overall pretty fun character. Do like the visuals, especially with the spirits that appear behind her in pretty much every attack that she does do. You know, that final hit right there, it's kind of cool. Glad to see she finally got a character, especially after the fact that she could have been done sometime, anytime last year. Makes sense to reset alongside other lieutenants that got spotlight in 1000 Year Blood War. And of course, as expected, she absolutely destroys Guild Quest content. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Take care and peace.